kind of a heavy hood, isn't it?
Yeah, well, fiberglass was supposed to be lightweight, but
There was an outfit in Topeka, Kansas that somehow ended up with this car. And my dad traded 3 cars for it.
Wayne Carini, a name synonymous with classic car restoration, has amazed fans for decades. Renowned for his unrivaled ability to bring vintage vehicles back to life and celebrated for his hit TV series Chasing Classic Cars, Wayne has built a reputation as one of the most trusted figures in the automotive world. But what happens when trust in the automobile restoration industry is jeopardized? Unexpected legal troubles and controversies that even a seasoned expert like him wasn't prepared to face. What really happened to Wayne Carini, and how did his businesses end up entangled in multiple lawsuits? The legal troubles for Wayne Carini began with a seemingly routine car transaction involving a rare 1934 Pierce Arrow coupe. The story started long before Wayne even entered the picture, when Australian antique collector Robert Richmond made an upfront payment of $98,000 in 2010 for the car, orchestrated through an acquaintance, Gary Dixo. However, rather than delivering the car as planned, Gary listed it under his own name, effectively cutting Richmond out of the deal and leaving the collector without the vehicle he had paid for. Years later, in 2017, the Pierce Arrow resurfaced when Gary, now facing financial troubles, sold the car without Richmond's knowledge. During this transaction, Wayne was contacted to appraise the vintage coupe. Unaware of the car's troubled history and ownership dispute, he valued it between $110,000 and $120,000 and subsequently purchased it himself when it became available for sale. What Wayne didn't know was that Gary, who had provided all necessary ownership documents, had fraudulently acquired these papers to sell the vehicle for profit. Nevertheless, legal documents revealed that Wayne acted in good faith during the purchase, operating under the assumption that the paperwork was legitimate. The situation escalated when Richmond began tracking his car and uncovered that it had changed hands multiple times. His frustrations led to a lawsuit in 2018, naming Wayne Carini, F40 Motorsports, and other parties involved as defendants. The case would ultimately investigate not only the sale, but the authenticity of Gary's ownership claims, unraveling years of shady dealings surrounding the Pierce Arrow coupe. Wayne's involvement, while inadvertent, brought significant attention to the case. According to court filings reviewed by the Hartford Courant, the judge later concluded that Wayne had not committed any wrongdoing, but was still required to assist in refunding payments to resolve the case. This early chapter in the controversy highlighted just how easily trust and documentation in the car restoration world could be exploited, even pulling someone as experienced as Wayne into the fray. While the courts ultimately cleared Wayne Carini of wrongdoing in the Pierce Arrow coupe case, the fallout from the lawsuit was far-reaching. The legal battle not only strained Wayne's reputation, but also exposed vulnerabilities in the classic car market where trust and proper documentation are paramount. For F40 Motorsports, Wayne's business, the controversy created a cloud of uncertainty. Clients and collectors depend on the legitimacy of every transaction, and legal battles, no matter the resolution, can cast doubt. In this case, the spotlight was firmly placed on how vintage car deals are handled, from ownership verification to appraisals. Wayne later addressed the importance of documentation in an interview with the Hartford Courant, stating that any dealer in this business needs to trust the paperwork. You can't always know the full history of a car, but you rely on the documents as proof. These words shed light on how even seasoned professionals can unknowingly find themselves in the midst of legal complexities if the chain of ownership isn't clear. What made matters worse was the media attention surrounding the dispute. While Wayne had no ill intent, being associated with ownership disputes led some to question the diligence his business applied when acquiring vehicles. This was particularly damaging in an industry where reputation is everything. Although the legal case itself exposed no direct fault in Wayne's actions, it unearthed one of the core challenges of the car restoration market. reconciling passion with due diligence. Collectors, appraisers, and dealers alike were reminded of the risks tied to incomplete or falsified records. For Wayne, the episode proved to be a costly lesson in just how precarious trust in this industry can be. The Pierce Arrow case was more than just a legal headache. It demonstrated the fragile nature of an industry that relies on good faith and precise documentation, something even Wayne Carini, with decades of experience, couldn't always verify. While the Pierce Arrow lawsuit brought significant media attention and legal challenges to Wayne Carini, it wasn't the only controversy tied to his business dealings. Years earlier, in 2011, another client dispute involving Wayne's business, F40 Motorsports, would raise questions about the company's customer service and communication. This dispute centered on the sale of a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo that was advertised with a rare and desirable luxury luggage package worth an estimated $88,000. The high-end package became a key selling point for the buyer, who was reportedly eager to complete the purchase, expecting the inclusion of the luxury feature. However, upon delivery of the vehicle, the buyer discovered that the luggage package was missing, leading to months of back-and-forth attempts to resolve the issue. When the buyer grew frustrated by the lack of response from Wayne and his team, legal action was initiated. According to Lamborghini Talk, an online automotive forum where the buyer shared their experience, communication from F40 Motorsports was inconsistent, and promises to resolve the matter were delayed for weeks. The issue was ultimately resolved out of court, with the buyer eventually receiving the missing luggage package and the car's spare key via FedEx. However, the drawn-out process left the client frustrated with what they described as inadequate communication and customer service from a business that had established itself as a leader in the classic and luxury car market. This case, while less publicized than the Pierce Arrow lawsuit, still left a mark on Wayne's reputation. It highlighted concerns about how F40 Motorsports handled resolutions for dissatisfied customers, and it reminded others in the automotive industry of the importance of transparency in advertising high-value vehicles. Though Wayne personally intervened to resolve the dispute, the situation exposed underlying challenges in maintaining the trust of high-end clients, particularly when issues are not addressed promptly. It was another example of how even seemingly straightforward transactions can turn into reputational risks in the high-stakes world of luxury car sales. The legal challenges and disputes surrounding Wayne Carini didn't just affect his businesses financially, they also posed a significant risk to his reputation, which had been a cornerstone of his career. For someone as public and well-regarded as Wayne, involvement in multiple lawsuits, even when cleared of wrongdoing, can sow doubt in the minds of collectors, clients, and fans. The Pierce Arrow case, in particular, stirred conversations among enthusiasts about the diligence of dealers when verifying a car's ownership history, especially for rare and high-value vehicles. Even though Wayne acted in good faith, the association with the controversy was enough to prompt skepticism. In a business where word of mouth and trust determine success, such high-profile disputes can leave lasting damage. The Lamborghini case further exposed cracks in the customer service operations of F40 Motorsports. Dissatisfied buyers began sharing their concerns in online forums and reviews, describing slow communication and unresolved issues. One unnamed former client, writing on a collector car forum, described F40 as trustworthy but overwhelmed, making small errors in high-stakes deals. Although this feedback wasn't an indictment of Wayne's character, it painted a picture of a business struggling to meet the growing demands that come with operating at the top of the automotive world. Moreover, the media coverage surrounding these lawsuits, while limited in comparison to larger scandals in the car industry, further highlighted how competitive and precarious the collector car market can be. For collectors, even a hint of controversy around a dealer or restorer can lead them to look elsewhere, setting off a ripple effect that could take years to repair. As noted by Auto Week, In a segment about legal disputes in classic car sales, trust is fragile in a niche market where reputation is everything. For Wayne, maintaining his credibility required not only addressing these controversies head-on, but also implementing safeguards to prevent future disputes. These measures included changes in documentation processes, increased transparency for buyers, and a redoubled effort to maintain open communication lines with clients. Moving forward, these challenges forced Wayne to evaluate and adjust how business at F40 Motorsports was conducted, serving as a reminder of how close the link between operational missteps and reputational risk can be. Despite resolving these disputes, the lingering effects of doubt among some clients underscored just how high the stakes are when trust is the foundation of an entire industry. The controversies and lawsuits surrounding Wayne Carini and F40 Motorsports served as a wake-up call, not just for Wayne, but for others in the collector car industry. Though legal disputes are not uncommon in the world of classic cars, where ownership histories can span decades and involve multiple transactions, the attention given to Wayne's cases highlighted the vulnerabilities even for trusted names. One significant takeaway from these experiences appears to be the vital role of procedural due diligence. According to automotive legal expert John Dranius, featured in Sports Car Market, disputes like these underscore the necessity of thorough title searches, buyer-seller communication, and airtight documentation. While Dranius was referring broadly to issues in the industry, Wayne's challenges demonstrated how even the most seasoned professional could overlook potential red flags when relying solely on provided paperwork. Moving forward, Wayne seems determined to reinforce his place in the industry, not by using the lawsuits as excuses, but by using them as a lesson. If anything, the challenges have demonstrated how, even in a career marked by success and fame, mistakes, or perceived mistakes, are inevitable. How one responds to such situations often determines their legacy.